Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wind Down Friday. Today, our guest is Surya Iyer, President and COO of Polar Semiconductor. Hi, Surya. Welcome aboard, and thanks a lot for being here. How are you?
Hi, Maurizio. I'm very well. Hope you are well as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Where are you located?
I am in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, a suburb called Bloomington, Minnesota, very close to the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport,
Good, wonderful.
and also very close to the Mall of America.
Nice. So, I have prepared a couple of questions for you in this new episode of Wind Down Friday. So, you joined Polar Semiconductor in 2008. So, please correct me as Technology Development Manager. Now you are the president. You have had a fascinating career from Applied Materials, for example, to Cypress Semiconductor, now Polar Semiconductor. So, tell us more about you. Tell us more about Polar Semiconductor and the main values.
I think you covered pretty much everything about me from a professional point of view. So I started at Applied Materials after college and moved here to Minnesota to work at Cypress Semiconductor for their SRAM and non-volatile memory technologies, and then moved to Polar Semiconductor and been there in a variety of different roles since 2008, and now as the president and COO, as you mentioned. I'll tell you a little bit more about Polar. Polar has a long history of serving the semiconductor industry for over 6 decades. So Polar has been in this location in some form or the other, making semiconductor chips. And in the 2000 timeframe, it first took on the name of Polar, became Polar Fab, and 2005 became Polar Semiconductor. And we are really the only United States located, United States owned pure play foundry that specializes in power semiconductors, high voltage semiconductors, and sensors. So that's our specialty. We're very good at it. It takes a lot of knowledge to get good at it, and we have that knowledge over decades of experience. So in terms of values, I want to say we are an automotive supplier. What that means is certain values are critical for success: integrity and quality. So integrity is very important. Quality is very important because it determines the reputation of the company with our customers. And if you don't have reputation in the automotive industry, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Then the next set of values I would talk about is because of where we're located. We are in the Midwest in the United States. We are a very, we value people. It is a collaboration between people. It is the value of everybody achieving their full potential together. And so that's a very important value at Polar Semiconductor. And then the third set of values I would talk about is related to our size and situation in the industry. We are a medium-sized company. We are in a startup mode, even though we're not necessarily a startup. We are in a new form as a pure play foundry, coming away from a more captive type of a business model. We're now in a pure play foundry type of model. So that drives the next two sets of values. The first one is that we have to get the job done, own what we need to get done. Everybody in the company has that sense of ownership. And if you make a mistake, you correct it and fix it and move on. And then the other value corresponding to that is the flexibility value. We are people who we can adapt. And we have shown that value of adaptation and changing to the needs of the industry and changing to the needs of the customers over and over and over again in our history. So I would say that those are the core 5 values of the company.
Thank you. Great. So as as you mentioned, as I mentioned about your career in different roles. So looking back, uh, what has been the most important defining moment in your career so far that you would like to share with us?
I think that's a very easy question to answer, Maurizio. It is the transformation of the company is really the defining moment in my career. And I feel so lucky and grateful that I am in this role and that I can play the role of leading the transformation of the company. So as in September of 2024, Polar became from a captive fab, it became a independent US pure play foundry. And that transition, before that, at least a year and a half to 2 years, and after that, approximately a year now, has been just a fantastic time in my life. It has been very challenging. I have lost a lot of sleep and a lot of my hair, as you can tell, but it has been exhilarating and just it has given me so much energy and so much motivation to make a huge difference in the future of this company and the future of the employees of this company. So that is truly the defining moment in my career.
Great, thank you. So you have held both technology development and fab operations leadership roles. So as I mentioned, so you started as a technology development manager indeed at Polar Semiconductor. So how do you see the balance between innovation, execution in such as semiconductor manufacturing?
Yeah, that's a very good question, especially because in a company our size, we have to do innovation and manufacturing all in the same facility.
Yeah.
And so there has to be a level of collaboration between the technology development organization and the manufacturing operations organization to make sure that both of these aspects of the business are successful. And in our new role or new business model, both have to happen at fast speed. You cannot compromise speed on technology development. You cannot compromise speed on manufacturing. In order to compete with our competition in Asia, Europe, other places, other parts of the United States, you have to have speed and efficiency both in technology development as well as in manufacturing. Now, to some extent, I think being a medium-sized company,
Yep.
being in one location, not spread out over multiple locations, gives us an advantage because all the people involved in technology development, the innovation side of the house, and the operations, the executions, the semiconductor manufacturing side of the house are all together. The other way we do it is that part of the incentives for operations is to support technology development, and part of technology development's incentives is to support operations because every project, right, moves from innovation to operations. That's the natural trend. Yeah, that's a natural movement over time. And so as long as both teams are supporting each other, this can work very well. And we have, I think, in the organization that we have created here, with the VP of Technology, VP of Operations, and Operations Engineering, their organizations work pretty well. Let me walk you through an example.
Sure.
We did a very important. We're not done yet. We're still working on a very important project for a startup company in Pennsylvania, where we are ramping their older, established technologies to full production. And then we're also developing the next generation of technology at the same time. So this is where the VP of Technology, who's responsible for the new technology development, has his top priority as the development of this new technology. And then the operations VPs have the ramp of the developed technologies as the top priority, but they both have give and take, because without each other's cooperation, neither of these projects is going to get done. And to some extent, the unit process development activities for the process technology integration development resides in the operations engineering organization. So that kind of is the glue between technology and operations, is the operations engineering in the middle. So they bring the manufacturing and the technology teams together as well. So we have multiple ways of making sure that these things are successful. I think, as I said, our Midwestern culture of collaboration helps as well. So we are doing a pretty good job. I think we set a good example for other companies.
Thank you. Nice example. So, as someone with deep expertise and patents in semiconductor processing and equipment design, indeed, you have 20 more patents related to semiconductor processing and equipment design, and a lot of publications. So, what do you see the most exciting innovation shaping fabs nowadays?
That's also another very excellent question. I'm going to talk about it in two different aspects. Okay. One is just the efficiency and the optimization of a fab. A fab at the end of the day is a factory. We're making wafers with devices on them. And the industry is, as you know, extremely competitive. Yeah. There's massive amounts of capital that is required, massive amounts of, I mean, these fabs are tens of football fields. These are not small factories. These are huge factories. They're literally small towns. And in order to make sure that you get the full return on that capital, invested capital, you need to make sure that every second counts and every wafer that comes out works with full yield, high yield, right? So this is actually, I think, one of the most amazing times to be in the manufacturing part of the semiconductor world, where you can now use the huge amount of data that is generated through our facilities equipment, through the processing equipment, through the the measurement systems that we have, and the electrical testing that we do, the probe testing that we do on the products. All of this generates just unbelievable amount of data. Now, with modern techniques of AI, ML, and things of that nature, we can use that data to improve the efficiency of the fab. Even a small company like Polar, we are investing approximately 1 to 1.5 full-time equivalent per people to work on this AI, ML type of technologies. We have seen tremendous return on that investment of those 1 or 2 people.
Nice.
And so that, I think, is a huge first thing that I think is going to be kind of a major exciting innovation in the fab. The other piece is the materials. Modern fabs are not just going to be silicon fabs. There's going to be a lot of new materials that are going to be introduced. Even in silicon, we pretty much have almost the full periodic table, but now there's beyond silicon. We have gallium nitride, silicon carbide, all of these kind of materials also being introduced. I think that is going to take the innovation in the semiconductor industry on a whole different dimension, at a whole different level compared to what we had in the past. So exciting time to be in the semiconductor industry for people like me who've been here, veterans, but also for the young people who are graduating from college. I welcome them to come and join. This is the best time to come and join the semiconductor industry.
Yes, we did. Exciting times. So you serve on the governing council for SEMI FOA. So tell us more about this activity and tell us more.
So Maurizio, the SEMI is a industry organization, and it has a group within SEMI, which is called the Fab Owners Alliance.
Yep.
And this group of people are people like me who have operations background. We are basically fab people, okay? So we get together at least once a quarter And we talk about how we can learn from each other and help each other out to make ourselves competitive. Not every company in the semi FOA is a natural competitor. Many of us are 200 millimeter fabs, fabs like Polar that have been around for a long time, have similar kind of struggles and issues and concerns and problems. And so it's a very good forum for all of us to get together to help each other and learn from each other. So we do a lot of case studies. This is also, SEMI is also a lot of the equipment makers and chemical suppliers and other supply chain people are also part of the SEMI organization. So it gives an opportunity for them to have face time with people like me who are fab managers and people who make decisions about equipment and things like that. So it's a great opportunity to kind of bring that supply chain people together and solve problems together. So I think in terms of, the challenges of the semiconductor industry, as I said, there's a lot of innovation in shrinking, like, the going to 2 nanometer and so on for digital shrink. There's massive manufacturing at a scale that has never been seen in the semiconductor industry before. Use of AI, ML, robotics, all of this is just increasing tremendously. And then, as I said, the other piece of it is the materials innovation. And then the third piece of it, or rather part B of the second piece of it, is that the materials innovations are typically happening in some of the older fabs. So we have to figure out a way to sustain and keep these older fabs functioning at the highest efficiency.
So you have studied at IIT Kanpur, Washington University, Stanford, so quite a journey. So very nice. So if you could go back to your student days, so is there one piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
I think maybe the first advice I would give is that don't spend so much time in college. Maybe too much. And getting down to more serious, I think I was very lucky. I mean, I've gotten a chance to go to these are some of the top educational institutions in the world. And I have to say I am a very lucky person to have had the opportunity to work and learn with the professors at these institutions and my PhD thesis advisors, my postdoc advisors, and others, just amazing people. And so it's just lucky and had to have that opportunity to do it. I think what I would say to my younger self is that balance between sports, having fun, and academics. And I think when I was a student, I did a little too much on the having fun and sports and not as much focus on the academics, especially in the undergraduate. I think it is very important to learn the fundamentals. The fundamentals, if you spend the time learning the fundamentals when you're in college, that will serve you for a long, long time. Because the fundamentals, the way you discipline your mind to learn is very important, because that discipline stays with you for the rest of your career. And I think that is a key piece of advice I'll give to my younger self. I think I'm glad that I learned these things over time from my professors, from my fellow graduate students and others, but I wish I had learned these things a little bit earlier.
Outside of semiconductor, beyond your job, so simple question. What passion, hobbies help you recharge your batteries?
That's an easy question.
Tough question.
It's not a tough question. No, I love playing golf.
Nice.
I love watching golf, and unfortunately, I broke my anterior crucial ligament earlier this year, ACL in my knee, and so that derailed my golf this season. But I'm hoping that I'm going to come back at least the late part of the season, play some rounds, and then I also like to watch comedy shows and just intelligent entertainment. So funny people always make me appreciate life.
Nice, thank you. So, Surya, in conclusion, I have my last question for you. So let's conclude asking you what leadership lessons or advice do you find yourself most often sharing with the next generation of engineers? So the next generation of professional young people.
Yeah, I think my advice to the next generation of young people is that try to get into the depth of what you're doing. Go deep in whatever you're doing. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's semiconductors, that's great, because I would like every young person to look at semiconductors as a potential career. But go deep and learn as much as you can. And also remember that everybody who's working with you is there to help you, and you should help them, because this is a team activity.
Yes.
It is not a individual activity. Of course, there's individual activity, individual, brilliance and individual intellect that comes into play. But at the end of the day, the semiconductor industry, the kind of technologies that we're dealing with are so complicated, so interwoven with each other, that you have to work in a team to make it successful. So team player, be a team player, look for people who are not like you and learn from them. Interact with people who are not like you and, learn from each other, I think is more important. Not just learn from them, but they can learn from you as well. And then give everybody a chance, because I used to be, when I was younger, I made a lot of assumptions about the people I work with. I thought this person was going to be smart. This person was going to be because he went to this school or she went to that, has done that experience. Do not judge people. Give everybody a chance. Work with them. People want to do better. People want to do well. And then if you work with them and if you give them the chance, they will deliver for you. Do not look at the negative of people. Look at the positive of people always, and that'll make you successful in your life.
Fantastic conclusion. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing these very nice words. Thank you for your time, Surya. So I wish you a great weekend, a great day. Stay in touch. Stay in touch with Polar Semiconductor. Thank you so much, and see you probably next Power Conference.
I hope so. Thank you, Maurizio, and wonderful talking to you. And if you are here in the Twin Cities area, please come by, and I'll be happy to give you a tour of Polar.
Thank you. Take care. Stay in touch.
Bye.
Bye.